Peter Mathews is a professor of political science at Cyprus College. Mr. Mathews, good to see you. It
Good to be
sounds
here.
incredibly nefarious, this painting, Mr. Pompeo's painting, by saying China's already labeled each of the governors as either friendly, hardline, or ambiguous, considering the U.S. also has eyes on China in some way. What exactly is Washington afraid of?
We got to be careful that Pompeo doesn't overreact because, we also have analyzed the Chinese leadership and we've labeled different leaders of different persuasions of ideological direction. And I think he should be careful we don't start a new Cold War. First of all, China was able to get technology from the United States and other countries because they insisted that they will not become a dumping ground for factory jobs. South Korea did the same thing. They said, if you want to sell your airplanes here, you have to show us how to build a tail section and train our engineers. So this is a little bit concerning that after this has been done and both countries have benefited economically from trade and technology transfer, now the right-wing governments are coming in the United States and saying China is this and China is stealing our technology and this and that. And of course, we have to be somewhat vigilant, of course. And he's saying the state should be careful also about Chinese propaganda through various educational institutions like the Confucius Institute. It's going to have to be a middle ground balanced. Otherwise, things are going to go way out of whack.
All right, so one message is saying, be careful around China, do not engage with them. But on Saturday, Secretary Pompeo posted on Twitter, quote, proud to announce an additional $100 million of existing funds to support China in combating the coronavirus. So for anyone who's non-political, this seems incredibly two-tongued, for lack of a better word. What is the politics at play here?
Well, the coronavirus is a threat to all of us in the world, and we do want to help China to stop it as fast as possible. And it's a humanitarian gesture, which is important. At the same time, they're concerned about economic relationship, and that should be more fair. And I think they should not overreact because China has a good economic strategy. It's also got what you call soft power that it emphasizes, which means promoting its ideas, its culture, and its friendship around the world through economic engagement, like the Belt and Road program, for example. U.S. should do more of that. The U.S. should do more of that. The United States should also use our government, our resources of our government, to promote American business and export, make them strong exporters, as the Chinese government has done, what's called industrial policy. The U.S. should actually emulate parts of what China has done in strengthening its economy by getting the United States government involved in promoting technology around the world and promoting American products around the world, as Germany has also done. So I think we can learn from them and don't become too paranoid about what they've done so far. Mr. Pompeo has to be very careful about that.
Mr. Mathews, if you permit me one more question. Secretary Pompeo made reference to the Confucius Institute, which is a Chinese government-funded educational institution that teaches Chinese language, culture, and history in the U.S.
Yes.
What about the institution is problematic to Washington?
Well, they're concerned that the teachers that are teaching there, many of them are brought from China directly, and they've been vetted by the Chinese government or Communist Party apparatus, and they may be promoting propaganda. But the U.S. puts out propaganda through Voice of America and other kinds of institutions, and we've sought to expand our educational footprint around the world by helping create some of the schools and infrastructure. So I think it's a two-sided thing, and while he's saying to the states, be careful, when you let the Confucius Institute to these universities, make sure that the curriculum isn't just one-sided, that you also balance what the Chinese side is saying with whatever we can put out, or the United States can put out from our educational perspective as well.
Mr. Mathews, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining us here on TRT World.